self-interest. And when that illusion no longer serves them, your bond will, inevitably, dissolve. The path forward, strategic detachment. So, what action do you take? You cease trading your loyalty for validation. You stop sacrificing yourself for those who view you merely as an asset. You build alliances, not fragile attachments. You lead with value, not desperate dependence. Machiavelli understood that a wise individual moves through life like a grandmaster on a chessboard, not emotionally reactive, but relentlessly strategic. He simply comprehends their function. And so should you. This doesn't demand the abandonment of love, friendship, or community. It demands the removal of the blindfold, seeing people as they truly are, not as you desperately wish them to be. Because in a world teeming with manipulation, the rarest form of power isn't deception. It's clarity. Betrayal, human nature under pressure. Have you noticed how quickly allegiances shift in the crucible of crisis? A misspoken word, a status, and suddenly, those arrayed against you. This isn't necessarily betrayal. This is human nature under pressure. Machiavelli famously advised rulers to maintain power not through love, but through calculated fear. Why? Because he knew fear is infinitely more predictable than affection. Fear, unlike fleeting adoration, often remains loyal even when love has withered and died. In stark terms, people are more reliable when they need something from you than when they like you. It's a harsh truth. But it's profoundly liberating. Once you internalize this, you stop bleeding for fair-weather companions. You stop exhaustively explaining yourself to those determined to misunderstand you. Most importantly, you stop the instant you cease to be advantageous. You begin to, but never naive, open, but never blind, generous, but never exploitable. This is the first law of Machiavelli. No one is your friend, not in the idealized way you might hope. But once you accept this, truly, deeply accept it, you gain the most formidable advantage of all, independence from illusion. Kindness, a double-edged sword. Intrinsic virtue, a universal good, that being gentle, accommodating, and agreeable will open every door and earn every ounce of respect. But Machiavelli knew better. He understood that kindness, when not wielded strategically, is frequently mistaken for weakness. He recognized that in the theater of power, niceness isn't admired, it's exploited. This isn't a call to cruelty. It's a stark warning: if your goodness isn't forged with strength, it becomes your leash. We've all witnessed this narrative unfold. The person who constantly bends backward to please others, always agreeable, perpetually saying yes. They believe they're embodying nobility, earning adoration. But beneath the surface, a different dynamic takes hold. People begin to perceive them as harmless, predictable, replaceable. They start to expect compliance. They relentlessly test boundaries. They scoff at silence. And the harder they try to please, the more invisible they become. Machiavelli would identify this as a fatal flaw, because it willingly surrenders your power to those who care least about your well-being. When you lead with niceness, hoping it will protect you, you become a tool. A stepping stone. A phantom people forget once they've extracted what they needed. But when you lead with presence, a quiet, unshakable sense of inner strength, you command attention. Respect. Even a healthy dose of fear. Machiavelli argued that it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Not because fear is inherently virtuous, but because fear establishes distance. It breeds respect. It creates impenetrable boundaries. Love, on the other hand, often invites exploitation, not abstract virtue. And here's